back. We are playing some more Cockatrice, or Cockatrice. I always call it Cockatrice, but I guess it's called Cockatrice. I wanted to show you before I start of some matches that I wanted to show that I had against a sub called Matthew. I wanted to show off the deck, which I call the Stasis deck, and it's a variant of a deck that I used to play back in the 90s, back when I played Paper Magic. It is pretty much like the main mechanic of the deck is centered around this card that you see here. It's called the Stasis or Stasis. It's a 2-cost enchantment, and it makes it so that players do not get an untap phase. Each round you have to pay 1 blue mana during upkeep or Stasis is destroyed, which basically means that you have to have enough blue mana to be able to tap one, not be able to tap it again next turn, then tap the next, and so on and so forth. Along with it, or actually let me say, I used to run this deck with creatures, a bunch of creatures and so on, and I only ran 1 Stasis, maybe 2 at some point. Now I think I only ran 1 because the whole idea was to draw on similar effects to Stasis in order to tie down my opponent's side, while I, with my Vigilance creatures, flew over to the other side and smashed my opponent's face in, and mainly, like, basically made his life a living hell, because he didn't have any chance to do anything about it. And I did so first of all by tying down my opponent's side. I used some. I think I used a variety of cards along the way. Back then, the Sarah Angel was a pretty decent, halfway big creature. It was a 4/4 flying with Vigilance. And I used, I forget what it's called, the Zephyr, something Zephyr, which is, I think it's a 1/1 or 2/2 Vigilance creature in blue, kind of similar to the Sarah Angel. Not that good, but then I used 4 clones, and I think it's called a Vidurian Enchantress. Let me just check. Vidurian, no. Vidurian. No? Viridian source. I don't know. It's a blue card. It's let me just bounce to it. Saucer. Anyways, I couldn't find the card for some reason, but it's basically like a clone, except that you get to choose new targets every turn, and it's 2 blue and 3 colorless. New target, that is. Anyways, what makes this deck work is a combination of the Stasis here and cards like, for example, the Winter Orb, both of which ties down your opponent's lands, your own as well if you have no means to get around it. The Winter Orb makes it so it's an enchantment that's a 2-cost, and it makes it so that each player can only untap 1 land each turn. So if you don't have the Stasis down, you have the Winter Orb down, and the Winter Orb is free once you cast it. There's no upkeep cost. So basically, it makes it so that your opponent is slowed down a lot, even if he saves all his lands and doesn't tap them, doesn't cast any spells. It still takes him a few turns until he can actually cast anything that's bigger or significant, unless he's running weenie decks or something like that. Another way of tying down some of his at least bigger creatures is with the Meekstone. It's a 1-cost artifact, and it makes it so that any creature with power greater than 2 may not be untapped as normal during the untap phase. So that's another way of tying down your opponent's side. When you're tying down your opponent's side, cards start cluttering up in his hand, which makes it so that that he'll have a lot of spells at disposal as soon as he gets the mana. So you want to take you want to take advantage of that. Another card that I use now, and I used in conjunction with this in the original deck, was the Black Vice, which makes it so that if an opponent has more than 4 cards in hand during upkeep, Black Vice does 1 damage to your opponent for each, or to this opponent for each card in excess of 4. It's kind of like the reverse of the rack that if you guys don't play Magic, if you guys only play digital Magic, then you might not know it. But it's the rack is a card that was in the Liliana deck, the discard deck, back in 2012, Duels of the Planeswalker 2012. So it's a 1 cost, and it makes it so that if you drop this the first turn, and you had the first turn, then your opponent's first turn, on his first turn, he loses 3 life, and until he can trim down his hand to 4, he loses even more life. So basically, it's a way of chipping away at your opponent's life. Slowly but surely, and the more of these cards you have, the better. I also used to run this card, a copy artifact, to make it so that I would have potentially 5 Black Vices at my disposal. So pretty decent card. Also, part of the engine of this deck is the ability to work your way around the stasis so you're not tied down. And one of the ways to do that, or the main way to do that in this deck, and I'm still not sure if I should run 1 or 2, but I'm running 1 right now, is the Candelabra of Taunus. It's a 1-cost artifact that makes it so that for X you can untap X separate lands. And in conjunction with the Mana Flare, it makes it so that you can the Mana Flare is a red enchantment of which is a 3-cost, and it makes it so that you get an extra mana. Not only you, but also your opponent get an extra mana out of each land, and this makes it so that you can basically pay your stasis cost, which is 1 blue, with 1 land, and then you have an extra mana which you can use through the Candelabra of Taunus to untap that same land again. And if you played another spell, you can quickly untap your lands, because it's like you every time you tap down a land, you get 1 mana plus 1 you can use for untapping it again, and basically do this ad infinitum. It's a very, very powerful combo, and it makes it so that you're completely unaffected by stasis. Aside from that, I put in 4 Howling Mines to make it so that I make it through my deck much faster, but also so my opponent's hand is cluttered much faster. And there are some powerful combinations. Not only is it obviously very, very good in conjunction with the Black Vice, but it's also very, very powerful in conjunction with something I'll show you a little bit later. If you don't have the stasis down, but still you're still tying up both your and your opponent's lands with the Winter Orb, you can use the Birds of Paradise, both just to tap for mana or to untap your lands, so you can invest in your future turns by untapping your lands by using your Birds of Paradise through the Candelabra of Taunus in this way. Aside from that, the let me just see. Yeah, let's go to the instance real quickly. I use Jilt as, I think, the only new addition to the deck. Jilt is a 2-cost instant with a kicker cost of 2 as well. It's a 1 blue, 1 colorless, and its kicker is 1 red and 1 colorless. And it basically bounces a creature to its owner's hand, your own or your opponent's. But if you also kick it, then you can deal 2 points of damage to another target creature. So you can basically bounce 1 creature to your opponent's hand and kill off another 2 toughness or 1 toughness creature with this card. And it makes it so that you can control your side, your opponent's side, more effectively. And especially if his lands are tied down with the Winter Orb or Stasis, then he he's pretty tied up in the sense that he can't just cast the big creature again. He casts down the big creature, you bounce it with Jilt, perhaps kill off a smaller creature, and what's good about Jilt is it gets rid of those creatures which Meekstone can't get rid of or tie down. Meekstone will let any 2 power creature through. So usually power and toughness follows along. So there are a lot of times where you can kill off some pretty pesky and annoying creatures which are 2 toughness. So yeah, that's why Jilt is in there. Mana Leak is I used to run a lot of different kinds of counter spells in my original deck, and I doubt that it was always trimmed down to 60 cards, but I think Mana Leak is really, really powerful in this deck because if your opponent is really adamant about keeping his the spells or creatures that he's casting, he will also tie down more lands, and it forces him into making choices where he will have to consider whether or not he wants to um, spend more mana casting his spells. So I think Mana Leak is a really, really good option for countering your opponent's spells in this sense. And then there's the Swords of Plowshare, which is basically just a removal card, but a really, really powerful one. Perhaps the most powerful one in the format, or at the time that I played Paper Magic. It's basically, if you don't know it, and you probably do, it exiles a creature, and the owner of the creature gets to gain life equal to that creature's power. So that's a really, really nice removal card. So another way of dealing direct damage to my opponent will be through by means of Blaze, and I only included one because it's not really the main strategy of the deck, but it's really, really powerful at times where you draw that Blaze and you have the mana flares down in conjunction with the Candelabra of Taunus, and you get this unlimited supply of mana going where you can just kill him in one turn by stacking up enough mana in your in your mana pool. And there's also another way of dealing direct damage, which is more pertinent to the mechanic of this deck. In conjunction with the Howling Mine and with the Stasis and so on, you tie down your opponent's side, and you make him draw way too many cards for him to be able to cast. So his hand should be stacked at least 7 at the end of the round. And if you have, for example, 1 Howling Mine down and your opponent's hand is 7 lands, you have the Stasis down, and in the next turn he has 7 cards in hand and he draws 2. As soon as he draws those cards, before he can cast sorceries, creature spells, or lay a land, you cast Stormseeker, which deals 1 point of damage to target player for each card in his or her hand. It's a 4 cost, 1 green and 1 3. 1 green and 3 colorless from the Legends set back. I think one of the first expansions to Magic ever. So this is really powerful. If in effect in this situation it deals 9 points of damage to your opponent, that is really powerful, especially if you've been chipping away at his life total with the Black Vices and so on. So yeah, this is basically the deck that I'm playing with, and I'll show you a few matches. One where it's too slow and one where it really, really works. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Welcome back. We are playing some, yeah, there we go. We're playing some Cockatrice with a sub of mine, Matthew. Okay. Hold on, let me just, my deck here. Okay. I might have done an intro for this, I might have not done it, but you can see this is my deck, the Stasis deck, but I am ready to rock. Okay, there we go. Shuffles his library. Okay. Shuffle away, pal. Shuffle and draw. What? I guess it's not. Oh, I'll keep that hand. Absolutely. Damn. Roll the 5. Plus I to see who starts. I played Matthew before. He's pretty decent. Beat me by 1. Okay, you beat me by 1. I'll try to remember the faces. Okay, so what is this thing? Darksteel Citadel is indestructible. I'm sure that has some kind of interesting effect. And it's my turn here, I guess. Untap phase, draw. Yep, I'll take that. So, got the black vice down, and boom, 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 and go. You take 2, yeah. I love this card. It was probably my favorite card back when I played Paper Magic. Okay. So he's playing an artifact spell, I'm assuming. Okay. 1/1 and a... Each player who has played a non-artifact spell this turn can't play additional non-artifact spells. Wow. That sucks. Okay. So... Draw. Oh, sorry. Ding. And... Howling Mine. And your turn. Huh. Good thing I have a lot of artifact spells in this deck. And good thing that I have a lot of stasis in my hand, because that'll stall it quite decently. So, did he... Okay. Damn. No problem. You're off to a quick start. There. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't have too many options. I'm going to drop the stasis next turn and just keep him tied down for a little while. Okay, so untap. Ooh, the Torch to Plowshare is going to be sweet, but right now I only have the Tropical Islands to play. So basically... Oh, I also forgot. Basically, the Winter Orb is not going to help me much. I'm just going to throw down the Stasis here. And that'll be that. So... Yeah. It's pretty decent, but I have no idea whether or not it'll help me or not. But he doesn't have much of an untapped phase. Okay, so he can basically get 2 mana down. What? Each artifact you control. Isn't that only 2 mana? I'm not sure I understand this. Sacrifice an artifact? Oh, the lands. Ah, I see. Very, very clever. So he's got a worm coil engine, and I need to Swords to Plowshare immediately. Okay. Oh, sorry. No untapped phase for me. Okay. Need to get this boy down. Need to... Oh, and I need to tap... Sorry. Messing up here. Tap one for stasis. And... No, don't untap the rest. Basically, I'm going to let him just swing in because I have nothing else that I can do. He got off to a much faster start than I was prepared for, and he's making those land drops. Okay, Ornithopter, sure. Two, 4. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready to take a beating because that's pretty much all I can do. Wow. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Right? Yeah, I think so. That was quite. That was quite a trick he's got going there. I must admit. Okay, so tap this. Draw 2 cards. Don't have anything else. Basically, I'm just going to my end phase and I'm going to discard. Going to be this. Oh, I need to discard. What should I discard? Everything is important in my hand. Okay. And he's playing with the Mux Jet. I see. Wow. This is a beating. One, 2. Okay. Here we go. Nope. Dead. And draw 2 cards. Got myself a forest. And it's not gonna help me out, but I think that's GG, sir. So I will concede and I will be ready for another one. His deck just got off to a really up to you. Let's see. Draw 7 cards. Doop. How do I feel about that? I start off with the Vice, and I start off with... I do have like mana. I have the combination of Mana Flare and Candelabra of Taunus. That's pretty good because then I can... if I draw the Stasis or the Winter Orb, I can start doing stuff. Yes, sir. A 3? Really? Oh, a Birth of Paradise. I know a little bit about those bad boys. Yes. Okay. So he's down to 5 right now, and I'm basically just saying, land, black, Vice, go. He takes 1 damage, and I need to get off for to a flying start. I've tried to not buff up this version of the deck too much. What's this? Oh, the Eldrazi? Wow, it looks like it kind of looks like my Eldrazi deck so far. Slow roll, yeah, I bet. Wow, nice. Okay, okay. Untap. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I hope he gives me a turn or two, because then I can pretty much lock down his side. Right now, I don't really have too many options, and I need to draw them Howling Mines. I need to draw, well, a lot of things actually. But I do have the combination of Mana Flare, which I need to get down next round, next turn. But do I want that? Because he, ah, man, do I want that? I think I should wait until turn 4, because then I can cast Mana Flare and then Stasis. But I also need mana to untap. Yes. Wait, that's actually not. Yeah, that's actually really really smart. Okay, good. Okay, how much? 1, 2. Okay, fine. I'm entrenched in thought here. Jilt is gonna be good for me. Okay, so I don't want to give him the satisfaction. No, I'm gonna hold back for either the Jilt or the Mana Leak. Yes. End step. Go. Okay. Want him to try to cast something huge. Brood Warden? Okay. Bing, boom, bam. He could have sacrificed all of his Eldrazi spawn, but he chose not to. And I'm assuming he'll be swinging in with all of his. Yeah, exactly. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My turn. Okay. So this is pretty interesting. Here we go. Take 1. Red. Mana Flare. Okay. So I use the Mana Flare here. I'll draw an arrow here. Doom to untap this and this. Then I'll use this to untap down, down. And then I'll use this to untap this and this. And let's see, I will casting the Stasis, untapping, bum, bum. Done. Your go. Ah, love it. Yes, the Copperline Gorge. Okay, comes into play tapped. Yep. I think, let me do this. Jilt and Kicker. Bounce. Bounce. And draw arrow. Kill. Oh, I need to. Then I untap this guy and this guy. Okay. Fine, my turn. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, great. So, oh, and I have to pay for the stasis. So I have an extra mana here. There we go. Stasis, planes, playing Howling Mines. Okay. So I have the extra mana. I'll use that extra mana to untap Tropical Island, tap the Tropical Island, untap these guys, tap the planes, untap Tropical Island and planes. Okay, your go. So this combo is pretty insane. But you need everything down on the table for it to work. Okay. And it's the 2 cards. Okay. And no untap phase, but we do have a little bit of other stuff here. Oh, sorry, again. That gives me 2, and I'll use those 2 to untap these guys. Yogo. Yes, I paid with the Tropical Island and had an extra blue to Mana Flare. I know I'm not making the faces here. Like I need to be to be better at remembering everything in turn here. Okay, so here upkeep, pay, stasis, and use it for untapping Candelabra Atonus. Okay, good. Draw phase, ding, ding. Play the Tundra, and that's it. And now he starts taking some damage. So it's probably not the funniest thing to play against. I know I've caused a bit of rage back in my day when I played Paper Magic by using this kind of combination. But I was kind of proud as a teenager to be able to figure out something that was like I don't know. I just fell in love with this card immediately when I boom boom when I saw it. Okay, so a second Birds of Paradise and an Ivory Tower. I'm done. Here you go. Got 7 cards in hand, and you start losing life. Draws 2 cards. And it's really like, this is such an unfair combo. I realize that. But I love it. Because, oh yeah, he has those spawns. And what is that? Okay. What else? Okay, that's fine. Makes a lot of sense. It's the only thing he could do, basically, so. And use it to untap the island. Get myself a Savannah, and I have the mana leaks, so I'm sitting pretty good, I would say. Okay, he plays a mountain. Effectively, he has 1 red and 3 colorless on board. So it's really for him it would be very valuable to be able to empty his hand from hand into graveyard. Okay, and upkeep, pay again, boom. Okay, draw 2 cards. Ooh, that Storm Seeker is gonna be huge. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. Guess I'll wait. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. My mistake. So he's down to 8 now, and he has 9 cards in hand, and I think I just want to play this now. Stormseeker. Boom. Draw arrow 2. Whoop. Oh, yeah. And this is why, like, this deck can be much, much faster. But it's really, really powerful. I'm gonna switch deck. I don't have the nerve, the stomach for Stasis right now.